Okay, so I want to make this really, hopefully, quick video because I'm reading some reports from my fourth year class / graduate class. I'm reading their reports, and it just got me thinking about some of the shortcuts that I use when I'm writing to make writing easier. Particularly as chemists, here I've got a recent paper that we're working on open here. So for example, if I want to write CO2 in text like that, it's very easy to do with the hotkeys that I've put in and stuff like that to get the subscript and the superscript right. So you'll notice here on the home screen, there's going to be subscript and superscript here, but it's tedious and kind of annoying to always be referring back to this and clicking on it. So if you have a hotkey, it makes writing it a lot easier. It makes writing things like equations a lot easier. So what I do, because Microsoft has recently made some changes, so I go to Options, customize the ribbon, and then customize these hotkeys. And then I go to the Home tab, for example, for superscript and subscript. It should be right here at the bottom. So for subscript, I've already set it here, but I can give it a new shortcut. And so usually what I do for because this is how it used to be with Microsoft. So for subscript, a control plus equals sign. The equal sign is the default one is the one beside the backspace key on my keyboard. And then for superscript, it's that same key, Control Shift plus, for example, that I have here. So I'm going to delete that. Recently, like I said, Microsoft has changed this, so you might want to change it back. It's much quicker and easier to do it like that. What else? So those are for subscript and superscript, and that's what lets me do this CO2 or Li to SO4, for example, and it lets me type that out pretty quickly. All right. The next thing you'll notice here that I have the times symbol here, and I have the minus symbol here. The next thing that I do, I see a lot of people using Microsoft Equation Editor in order to do these subscripts and superscripts here. So this is much easier to do it taking advantage of either these buttons here in the top left or making those shortcut keys. The other thing is I tend to try to avoid Microsoft Equation Editor because it's terrible. So symbols, if I go to more symbols, so you can add a shortcut, a hotkey basically, for any of the symbols you have in here. So if you find that you're using a symbol like you have to describe something in micrometers, for example, so I can go to the symbol for micron, I can add a shortcut, Control Shift U, for example. Although you probably don't want to do that because that's underlined, but you sort of get the point. The other thing is, so for like multiplication, for example, the shortcut key that I use is the asterisk key, so Control plus the asterisk key, but that's on the number pad of my keyboard. So if you don't have a number pad, maybe it makes it a little bit tricky. But that will give us the proper times character. I'm a little this is all very pedantic, to be honest. Where is it? So there's a number of different like dashes. So here's where the time symbol is, and things like that. I need number forms. So many people don't use technically the correct minus sign. So the minus sign on your keyboard on the number pad isn't the minus sign. It's just a small dash. So if you want So if you want the proper minus sign, which is this symbol here, it's under symbols. So here, what I've done is I've created a shortcut where I have control and that dash to make a proper minus sign. Again, all this is, like I said, pedantic, but these little things annoy some professors like me. So now when I write, if I have to write something like the Boltzmann constant or Avogadro's number, something like that, I can 6.022 times 10 to the minus 23 atoms per mole. And I can even do mole plus minus 1. So just using hotkeys, it makes that much faster. The other trick I'll show you is, so right now what I have here on the home screen is I have my punctuation on. So I click this button here and it turns on the punctuation. So I can see where I have multiple spaces or single spaces. So many people don't know this, but here's another little helpful tip. Control Shift and the space bar is going to put a hard space there. That means that if I put another hard space here, here, I'll delete these guys here. That means Control Z, sorry. So Control Z is undo. So that means this entire string of characters from the 6 to the L is, because Word still treats the minus sign as a dash, but that's the point. But all these characters from the 6 to the mole is considered one word, so that if it gets to the end of a sentence, it's going to keep all those things together as a single word with these hard spaces together. Additionally, the hard space is locked in terms of its size. So I always use full justification. That's this guy. Rather than left justified, I use full justification because it looks more like a professional book quality or whatever. So the space between words starts to stretch a little bit because it's full justified. But with the hard space locked in, that the distance between the two characters with that space is locked. It's going to stay the same. So, for example, I've done it here with the absolute temperature that we were running in the experiment. We were measuring the room temperature, and I've done that with the Boltzmann constant here. All right, so that's just the tweaks, sort of tips and tricks I have with Word. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to do another video where I talk about equations and working with Equation Editor, and I'll upload that separately. All right. Thank you for those of you that are watching this. I really hope this benefits you. It's sort of a quality of life thing. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. I know many of you have already written your report or are probably already or are in the middle of writing it.